Hey, good morning. So this is just a quick video because a lot of people ask me about the synergy within my build in Anthem. So I just wanted to quickly just go over with you guys exactly what this build is and how it works and why it works more specifically. So obviously you can see my power level is 492. Now in my weapons I've got legendaries. I can bump that up if I chose to inflate my power level. It's not something I'm willing to do. Now this, however, is a quite important build. All right, I feel as though it's the strongest Colossus build at the moment currently available. Of course, people are entitled to their opinions. It's just my opinion on the fact. So I'm just going to cut right into it and tell you what this build is about. It's about autocannons, okay? And that is the only focus of this build. There's a couple of things that do provide support to the build. I've got a self-heal, which is very important, especially in GM2, GM3. I have a crowd control ability, which again is super, super important in GM2 and GM3. I'm just going to go straight into it. I'm going to tell you what weapons I'm using, and then I am going to tell you what the inscriptions are on them afterwards. Okay, so my weapons: 2 times Endless Siege. It's a masterwork autocannon. I'll go into the details of it later. My heavy assault launcher is a best defense. It's actually a legendary one. It's very good. My ordnance launcher is a voltaic dome. It's a legendary one. My components, as you can see, is a Vanguard emblem, an ablative shielding, a demolition tribute, a sync frame, a catalytic overdrive, and a shock treatment. Okay, my support gear obviously is a shield pulse because it just fits with the build and adds to the longevity of your Colossus. I'm going to go straight into the weapons so you can see them. So my first Endless Siege, I'll tell you first what the bonus of the Endless Siege is. It is base magazine is 100% and base damage is 100% increase, which is huge for an autocannon. Now this is a torrent, which means it takes a little time to warm up before it actually starts firing, but that is perfectly fine on the Colossus. Now the inscriptions on this one is 15% weapon damage, 10% recoil on the hip, 20% armor pickup amount, ammo pickup amount, and 175% physical damage. Massive bonuses, and it gets a huge amount of damage from it. My second Endless Siege is 6% max armor, 10% autocannon ammo, 13% elemental damage over the entire of the javelin, and a 150% weapon damage bonus, and that is huge. I've got 2 very, very high DPS weapons. Okay. Now, my assault launcher, my best defense, is, as you can see, very, very good. It's got gear over the whole javelin, plus 28%. It's got auto cannon, plus 18% damage. It's got harvest bonus and plus 28% damage to my Q. The effect of this, the combo effect, is hitting an enemy with a rocket restores 35% armor. That is massive, especially in GM2, GM3. My ordnance launcher is a voltaic dome. It's got plus 60% charges, which allows it to have 16 charges, which is, of course, huge. Weapon, plus 26% ammo. The grenade launcher doesn't affect this build, but you're not going to get perfect inscriptions on legendaries every time. And it's got plus 13% force, which is, it's pretty useful, but it's not something that I would prefer. But it works. It fits what it does. Now, the voltaic dome is powered strikes hit random multiple targets. Multiple hits, 3 causes a larger... that's the wrong one. What am I doing? The voltaic dome shock hits in an area of effect, and enemies are frozen once hit. It's very important. That's the crowd control that actually freezes the enemies. Now my components, this is where the synergy comes in. Everything on this build is pushed towards my 2 autocannons, and that's my damage really. My Vanguard emblem, shield break causes an explosion around you. I've got this on there because it's got the ultimate speed on there. And it increases electric and fire damage by 35%. And the electric damage is what my Voltaic Dome does, which is obviously extremely useful. The 25% ultimate speed means I can fire my ult 25% faster, which when you're doing crowd control combo Colossus, which this is, your ult goes up extremely fast. I've got ablative shielding. A shield break increases damage resistances by 25% for 5 seconds. It's got impact resist on it over the whole javelin, which is huge, and it's got repair drop break, which is huge considering this javelin will always be in the middle of enemies. Okay, that's the point of this Colossus build. You're always going to be in the middle of them, and when they drop, they've got a 25% chance to drop more of, which is so it's key. It's very, very useful. Demolition tribute, Colossus damage with your shield by 300%. Defeating an enemy in melee grants 20% armor, which is another self-heal, which is also very huge. Now, supply drop rate is both ammo and armor and repair. It's got a plus 18%, which is again huge. But the big thing on this is the clip, the weapon clip. So it's 9% weapon clip over my entire javelin, which adds to my endless siege. This has got sniper ammo, support luck, but the main reason I've got the sync frame on is defeating an enemy with the increases damage by 60% for 5 seconds, which is again massive. So my legendary component is a catalytic overdrive. Detonating a combo increases ability by 40% for 20 seconds. Okay. That's huge because that's a 40% buff for 20 seconds. It's massive. It also increases my combo damage by 50% as the base skill on it. So yeah, my Voltaic Dome is the primer, and my best defense is the detonator. Again, we're talking about real synchronicity between the items I have. It gives me an effect resist as the first inscription, which is like web, ice, fire. A 10% resist to that, which is actually quite useful. It means I can break free a lot quicker. But the big thing about this is the 9% weapon clip. That's huge. Again, it adds to my auto cannons. And my shock treatment increases ordnance launcher damage by 5%, but hitting enemies with your Q increases heat dissipation by 30% for 5 seconds. It's not huge, but again, the big thing is the 9% weapon clip. I wish I could show you a stats page. Hopefully they'll be bringing one out soon, but that all points towards these 2 auto cannons. Now, I'm doing about 2 to 3k a hit depending upon the enemy, which is, I'm pretty sure, as you guys know, massive. I've got over 500 rounds in the clip of both of my endless sieges at the moment. So with a fully weakened Tyrant Mine Queen, for instance, I'm doing about 5,300 damage a shot, and that's this build. That's why it works well, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any more questions, feel free to catch me on my my live stream. I do stream every day on Twitch, so feel free just to holler at me. If you've got any questions, feel free to post in the comments, and I'll try to keep up with them. Okay, and thank you very much, and have a great day. Goodbye.